You're not behind, you're just starting with the truth. Most of the people out there start with 18, with momentum, and you start now with direction. And this is not a disadvantage, this is just a different weapon you can use. And you probably think that the problem is time, but it's not. The problem is comparison. So you compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 10, and then you feel behind. And I did this the same. I compare myself with people who I went in school with, who have a family now, who have a house, and I am still figuring out what I want to do. And the gap felt like failure, but it wasn't. It was clearly a waiting for. And right now, there are millions of people out there in the mid to late 20s or even 30s who feel like they're behind, like they missed something and they cannot go back anymore. But this is not true. I was one of them, and here is what I actually found out. So let me show you what I mean with that. So there's a story. Every one of you told yourself this exact story, and it goes something like this: if I ever started earlier, I would be so far ahead. And this sounds reasonable, and it's like you're being honest with yourself, but you're way further from the truth than you think that you are, because the version who started with 20 don't have the things that you have right now. And I talk about myself. I was back then ruthless. I've built stuff, and I built big projects that lead me to nowhere because I didn't have a plan where I want to go. And if you start over at 25 or even 30, this is not a setback. It's the first time you build something real. And this is the part where it gets hard. And most of the people won't say this, that the feeling of feeling behind doesn't just magically disappear when you start, it stays in your head. The next day you open Instagram, for example, you see someone who has, for example, the car, your dream car that you want, and you don't have the car right now, you feel behind, and the voice in your head starts to wake up again and say, do you see, if you have started earlier, you would have this car right now. And this voice actually appears to give you a reason to escape from the plan that you're building right now. So I remember back in the day when I was younger and living at my parents' house, I was sitting in front of my desk, my laptop was open, and instead of building something, instead of building my YouTube channel, I compared myself online with other people. I saw their income, I saw the follower count, I saw everything what they have, and I don't. And then I closed down my laptop and I said to myself, I will do this video tomorrow, or even next week. And I didn't start it tomorrow, and I definitely did not start a week later. Eventually it passed 3 months, and the only thing I did so far was wasting 3 months because I never started. And this is the thing that nobody tells you, that staying behind or feeling behind costs so much as being behind. For example, you wait for a month without even starting something because you feel behind, then it doesn't cost you 1 month, it costs you 2 months, because 1 month you didn't start anything, and in the same month you also didn't prepare yourself to start, you also didn't make any progress, and this costs you double as much as the time. So here's the part that nobody tells you, what's required to start, and it's not preparation. It's not the right moment. It's not the perfect plan. What you need is to stop comparing yourself to others. As I mentioned in the beginning, you're comparing your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 10, and this is the exact problem. So you don't need a better plan. You don't need a nice moment. You just need to look at your feet, where you're standing right now. Look around you. This is your starting point. And you don't compare yourself with others. You're comparing yourself with your yesterday. So what I mean with that, you need to be 1% better every day. And in order to believe in that or to see the results, you need to see what you did yesterday. So for example, if you made a video, okay, good, but today you made the video 10 minutes faster, for example. So you build up the skill, and it compounds over months, over years, and someday you will be better at everything. And eventually you will achieve that level, that chapter 10 of your friend, for example, that you always compared yourself. So you're not late. You're already ready at your starting position for yourself. You will be better today because this is the starting point. You do something better than you did yesterday. And it sounds simple, it sounds even stupid for you, for example, because how can I compare myself with yesterday? But it's possible. You need to look what you did yesterday and do it better today. For example, you went 30 minutes into the gym and you did 3 sets of every muscle group. Okay, do the same now with 2.5 kilo more, for example. You build the habit of being better day by day. So let me explain. When you eventually stop starting something because you compared yourself to another person online, for example, then it will teach your brain that it's not worth to start because you don't have the gear to build this channel, for example, as your friend online does. And if you compare yourself to other people, if you delay your start, if you procrastinate, everything that you do is a sign to your brain that your brain says, okay, it's not worth to start right now. And if you do this over and over for years and years, it will be so harder for you to start something. But it's so simple. You need to stop comparing yourself to others online. You just need to look at yourself, because everyone around you doesn't look how you are doing. Everyone is focusing on themselves. So here's the reframe that changed everything for me. And if it changes everything for you, hit that like button so I can see you like this video and you want more of that video. So the years you spend on, for example, wrong projects, the wrong directions, or even procrastinating has a cost. And you already paid that cost because you started a project and it failed. You procrastinate and you didn't start anything. And you know what it cost. But most of the people doesn't even want to start the project because, as I mentioned, they compare themselves to others online and they don't feel ready to start. So they procrastinate, they wait, they gather information, and information is the point. So everything you did years ago, for example, in the last 5 years, you started this project, you started this YouTube channel, you created the cinematic video for your friend. Every project that you started is information for you, what it actually costs. And you know something important that the people who don't start anything know yet. You know what it costs when you fail. And you think, how is this usable for me? Let me tell you something, that most of the people out there don't even know what failing means. They're imagining something, breaking everything apart, the whole company you build up breaks, you lose so much money, but it's not. As I mentioned, you start a project and then you stop it, for example, for different reasons. As I mentioned on my channel right now, dozens of times, why I eventually stopped. And you know that failing isn't this big collapse of a company, for example. You know that failing is a small decision you made 5 weeks ago, and you already know how it feels, and the other people doesn't know how this feels, and they will eventually feel it when they're 50, when they're 60, when their life is finally over. So when I finally accepted that and realized that I eventually experienced the things that the people who are in my age group never even started to experience, is way better for me. Because, as I mentioned, when I realized this, so I stopped comparing myself to other people, to my friends, to randoms on the internet. I compared myself to the yesterday version of me, because that is the only thing that matters. Because, as I said in this video, if you do something day by day, be better 1% every day from the yesterday version of yourself, eventually you will be way ahead of the person who you compared yourself to years ago. So on a scale of 1 to 10, be honest with yourself. How much do you believe that you're already late in your timeline, that you're already behind some people you compare? Tell me the number in the comments, because I will read all of them and then I see where you stand and I can help you with that. Because starting over doesn't begin with a big moment. It begins with a small decision you take seriously. So the age you are right now today is the youngest you will ever be. And this is not to scare you, this is simple maths, because every day you wait, the gap between where you are and where you want to be widens more and more. But every day you move to that gap, you move closer to the gap, to close the starting point where you'll be proud of to start something. So start ugly, start today, start honestly. And as for that, if you want to see my latest video I uploaded on my channel, click this here, and YouTube and I think that this video will fit you the most, and hit that subscribe button right there, because next week will be another video. As for that, thank you for watching, guys, and I am rooting for you.